Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hamza here. Inshallah, the video that I'll be reacting to today is one of those videos that you see, and as a Muslim, especially as a Muslim woman, it makes you cringe and you're like thinking, what is happening here? So the video is titled Hijabi Boss Babe Gets Reality Check by Ali Dawah. He was speaking with a hijabi sister at the speaker's corner, and it's interesting to hear some of the things she says about her woman rights in Islam. It's quite interesting because you see these Muslim girls, Muslim women, trying to fit into the so-called feminist identity, and they want to bring that into Islam. The thing they fail to realize, and I don't know why they don't realize it, is that every time they do that, it only makes them sound very, very ridiculous. If you're a normal everyday girl and you're trying to promote feminism, you're trying to promote this feminist agenda, you're not really, you can look at them and just say, okay, yeah, they don't have any other thing to fall back on. They don't have any way, they don't have anything to hang on to. Yeah, so maybe you want to excuse what they're doing. But when you see a Muslim woman who is like saying she's practicing Islam, a hijabi, and then you come forward with some very ridiculous claim just so you can align with this so-called liberal belief or this new way of living, you just only make yourself really ridiculous. Anyway, let's look at the video and let's listen to what my sister here has to say about the right Allah has given her in Islam. Bismillah.
We believe that the woman has or should have equal rights as
No. What do you mean equal rights? What do you mean? What do you mean by equal rights?
What do you think by equal rights?
That whatever the man gets, the woman gets the same.
There is a hadith that says that.
No, there isn't. What is that?
The money of the husband belongs to the woman.
So that's an inequality, because what that means is the following. For example, a man, okay, check this out. If it was equality, look how Istanbul is a woman. A man has to pay for the rent, the shopping, the gas, the electric, electric, gas bill. No, that's not hadith. I'm saying a man is a maintainer protector, so he has to provide the house. He has to do the shopping, council tax, all of this kind of stuff. Okay, he has to pay. If it was equality, it has to be 50-50. We don't believe in 50-50.
But you discussed that with us house.
No, you're not understanding. If a man comes to you, a Muslim man, and says you have to give 50% of the shopping and rent, you say to him, bye-bye. You're not a man, you're a boy. There's a lot of men who say that. Look, if a man comes to you, sister, I'm telling you, you're young, and wants to marry you, and says, you have to pay half the rent and shopping, you say to that man, you know what hijab says? You're a boy. You say to him, you're a boy. Yallah, I need a man.
I wouldn't say that. That's from your point of view, but...
So you'll go 50-50? No, you're not. No, look at this shit, Sam.
She'll go 50-50. She really wants to fall in line with this women. I can do whatever I want to do, or I'm as equal as a man, and all that nonsense that they say. Islam has given you a right. We're out there, women are out there fighting for rights and all that. And yeah, you can understand some of them, and you can understand some of the arguments they put forward, but it becomes ridiculous when you bring this into everything. The rights women are fighting for these days, some of the rights, I'm not going to say all the right, because there are a lot of things that they are fighting for these days that just don't make sense to a normal, sensible human being. But most of the right, or some of the rights that women are fighting for, Islam has already given to you. As a woman, Allah says that men are the protector of women, the protector, the maintainer. He is the one in charge. He takes care of you. I know some people are going to go crazy because I just said the man is the one in charge. Yes, that is the reality. That is our reality. As a woman, that is the reality. The man is in charge. He takes care, he maintains, he supports you. So in Islam, the man is expected to provide. If you're in your family, you need both of the husband and the wife to work together so they can sustain your family. There's nothing wrong with that. You can agree with that. If the woman has more money and she wants to support her husband, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. If the man and the woman decide, okay, we need you both of us to work so that we can support our family, again, there's nothing wrong with that. You just need to come to an agreement. But if the man, you make that part of what you have to bring to the table, you see, you have to do this, or the woman says, no, because we're equal, I want you to pay the rent out. That is madness. That is senseless. If you want to do that out of maybe your charity, there's nothing wrong with that. But then you see, because we're equal, I have to do that. The reason behind that does not make sense. The man is supposed to provide. That is what Islam, and the woman is supposed to nurture, take care of the home, take care of the family. The man goes out to find means of sustaining his family, and the woman nurtures the home. We complement each other. We're not competing. The equality they are talking about is about competing. What you can do, I can do. Imagine what she's saying. The brother here is telling her what her rights are, and she's saying, I don't need that. It doesn't make sense. She wants to so much fit into the narrative of the feminist, and she's negating what Islam brings to the table. It doesn't make sense.
Wallahi, lazim, a Rabbul Kaaba that you don't have to.
I don't have to, but I don't mind it.
Okay, good. No, if you want.
She doesn't have to, and she knows this. So why is she arguing? What is this argument about? Why do they feel they have to argue everything? Every little thing someone says, you see them going off the hook, arguing and shouting. So what's she arguing if she knows she doesn't have to? It's between you and your husband. If that is the situation and you agree, you don't have to come to the park and argue over this. This is ridiculous.
You don't have shame. You don't have shame.
What shame?
Did you hear that? She has shame, and that's why she wants to do it, which means the women who are dependent on their husband, who leave and they allow their husband to be in charge, they don't have shame. Did you hear that? It's so sad. It's really sad that this is supposed to be astaghfirullah. She's a Muslim woman. She's a hijabi, and she's saying that the rights that Allah has given us, when we take that right, it shows that we don't have shame. It's sad. It's sad. This is what feminists have done to the minds of women. Now you have to push away your rights to take on rights that the rights Allah has given you. You want to push that away, and now you want to claim the rights that human beings, these humans who you know they are not thinking well, are pushing on you and telling you these are your rights.
No, 1 second. No. You said it's shameful you to give if you don't give 50-50. You don't need to give a penny. Sister, listen to me carefully. Sister, we follow Islam, not your subjective morals.
Absolutely right. Absolutely well said. We follow Islam. We don't follow other people. We don't follow your feelings or your thoughts, because there's nothing you can bring to the table that compares to Islam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He created us, and He has shown us the way to live and how to live our lives and how to govern the way we do things. And then you come to say, this is how you feel, you think. Who cares about what you think? Who cares about your feelings? Your feelings makes no sense once they go contrary to what Islam has laid down. Islam is superior, and you're coming here to tell us it's shameful for women to depend on their husband. It's shameful for you to talk about it at all in such a manner.
Where in Islam does it say the man has to give a lot?
In Surah Nisa verse 30.
Asia, what is shameful is the fact that you want to fit into the narratives of some people, and you want to push aside what Islam is telling you to do. That is really shameful, and you should be ashamed of yourself for saying that.
For Allah says the men are the maintainers and protectors. What, sister?
and protect the woman. They care for them. They
Maintain means you pay for shopping, you pay for rent, you don't pay a penny.
Did you hear that? That's your interpretation. And who are you to interpret the Quran differently? The brother is telling you what it is, but you are bringing your interpretation from the lens of from the feminist lens. You want to show that you're empowered, and this is insanity, for God's sake. The brother is telling you what Islam says, what your rights are, and you're arguing based on what? What do you have to argue about?
We're giving the extra rights. She's saying I don't want it. Islam is saying
she doesn't want it because her brain she has been brainwashed. She is not thinking rightly, because if she is, she will see the blessing in what Allah has given her. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us a right. He's given us rights. A lot of rights we have as women in Islam. In short, it's so sad that women in Islam, some women, of course, not most women, it's interesting that you see a lot of women are beginning to see what Islam has for women, and they're rushing into the religion, they are embracing it. But then the sad part of it is that Muslim women who are in the religion, we don't value what the religion has to offer. We don't value the way of life Islam has given us. And we're looking outside. The grass is always greener on the other side. We're looking outside. But then the thing is, we're not seeing, everybody can see, except of course if you're blind, that the grass is no greener. The grass on the other side is completely dead. The women out there are miserable. They are living, their life is, I don't know how to describe it, and I really don't want to put anyone down, but if you look at those women who are claiming to be empowered and they're running, we're the same as men, their life is, they're always living this miserable life because they're trying to fit into what doesn't come naturally to them. They're holding on their responsibility as women, and they are taking on the responsibilities as men. They can't fit. They cannot deliver on being a man at the same time. They can't deliver on being a woman. They're just everywhere and nowhere. They're overstretching themselves, all in the name of wanting to be equal to men. The funny thing is, the men they don't even care. The men are just being men, except of course those who are simping. Men are being men and they're moving on, but women are always in competition with men. You're in competition with men, people who are not even aware that you're competing with them. The men are moving on. So why do we have to follow this narrative that men and women are equal? We are not equal in any way, shape, or form. Before Allah, we're equal in the way Allah is going to judge you. But Allah, again, will judge you based on the things that He has endowed you with, the things that you're capable of, the things that you have the ability to do. And Allah says, oh no, we will not burden a soul beyond what He's capable of. So as a woman, Allah has given us some things, and we will account for them. As a man, Allah has given them some other things that they will account for. So when we leave what we're supposed to do and we begin to run after what the men are supposed to do, we lose out, because we can't. It's like when the fish wants to fly. So the fish will leave the water and he wants to go up the hill and want to start flying. You're not going to be able to fly. And then you have actually left your source, which means you're going to dry out and die. So I don't know. It's really sad. It's sad, the situation that we find our young girls and our women today. Islam has given you so much rights, but because of this delusion and this brainwashing, you can't even see that, and you're see her raising her voice and shouting over something that makes her sounds very silly. And it's women like this that make us look dumb. I'm sorry to say that.
Sister,
if you want it, that's great for you.
No.
Keep in mind that
sister, the Sharia is saying, look, it's infiltrated your mind so much that you're even foregoing your rights. You're saying, look.
No, you told me if a man comes to me and says let's do 50-50, I said fine.
Okay, 1 second. All right, no problem.
If a man comes to me and says I'll do 100%, also fine.
No, he has to.
Okay,
Do you understand? No, I don't want to. No want to. No, I don't. I don't.
It's an obligation for him.
It's an obligation. Yeah.
She's not even allowing him to talk. This is what you find with a lot of women. When they're having a conversation with the man, they just go on and on and on. They're not even listening. They just want to keep talking. They keep talking without even thinking. And when you talk, the important thing is about talking is when you're talking, you're not only listening to, you're not only trying to articulate what you're saying in a rational way, you also try to listen to what you're saying and see the words that are coming out of my mouth, are they making sense? But when they go on like this, they just keep talking and talking without even taking a break to listen to what is coming out of their mouth to see if it makes sense. And then they begin to just ramble on and talk nonsense, things that don't make sense, and they think they're talking.
Yes, good. Now, if it's 50-50, what if you're pregnant and have a child and you can't work anymore? And then he comes and says to you, where's my 50-50? He's not allowed to say that. I'm saying this for you. These sisters are celebrating in the back. I can see they're like, woo, you're here for going there.
They have common sense. They're using their brains, but she's out there. She's been brainwashed to think that when you say we're equal to the man, so that means we have to do everything the man does. It's so funny. The men just look at you girls and they laugh up because they are not in competition with you, but you're always constantly in competition with men. You're constant. How many men do you see come out there to say we don't need women? No, you never see that, but you always see women coming. We don't need men. We don't need men. They are the ones that are mostly in need of men. They come out there to shout they don't need men. They're always screaming we don't need men, but they're inside. They're dying because they need men.
I'm saying that you have the ability to share.
No, if you want to, look, if you say, you know what?
If you want to, that is okay. If you have all your wealth, and you give it to nobody's going to stop you. If you want to help the husband out, there's nothing that's stopping you from doing that. But when you have, these are your rights. These are the things that you are entitled to. And you say, no, they don't, I'm ashamed to do that.
Well, I have mercy on this man. I want to help him out. May Allah bless you. But you don't have to. He has to. Make that clear, because I don't want, some brother watching this and saying, I need to marry this sister because it's going to go 50-50. I'm trying to protect you here, sister, yeah? Any of you brothers that are watching here, yeah? You have.
And that is the thing people don't, I think people just know. They see it, but they just, because they want to label Islam, they pretend not to see these things. Islam is out, it's there to protect both men and women, especially the women. Islam is there to protect you. When you follow the teachings of Islam and you stick by the rules of Islam, you will find peace that you will find nowhere else. You find a kind of peace that it doesn't mean you're not going to have some problems or some worries or be sad sometimes. Of course not. We're human beings, and this world is a trial for us. But at the end of it all, Islam is peace. And for women, when you follow Islam, wallahi lazim, you will find peace that you would find nowhere else. And that's why it's so sad when you see all those women going out there, they think they're enjoying life. We all know, we are women, we all know that most of them are miserable. In reality, they are miserable. They cannot find inner peace, so they think they overcompensate for that. They do whatever it is that they want to do. Again, they have been encouraged to do that, so they're doing that, but it's still not giving them peace. And when you find Muslim women like this trying to emulate them, you're thinking, what exactly is she seeing that is attracting her to that? What is in her head? The only explanation, the only excuse we can give to them is that the whole society, the things they see and everything has brainwashed them, and they're deluded, because women these days seems to be very, very delusional, and they live in their own reality. So yeah, that's the excuse I'm going to give to my sister here. And I pray that Allah help her to see what is true. This path she has chosen is not going to end well for her. She's going to end up, if she's not careful, pushing men away from her. Good men who wants to marry her, she's going to be very argumentative, and she's going to bring all this negative energy, and she's going to piss off the good men that wants to marry her. So I hope she learns quickly before it's too late, and she mends her ways and stop thinking like this and trying to justify the things that are not justifiable. Allah has given us rights. Let's enjoy them. Embrace the right Allah has given you and live a normal, fulfilled life instead of all this nonsense that we're filling ourselves with and trying to live by. So I think for now, that is all I want to say for this. May Allah continue to guide us right and make us among those who are successful. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.